I call the 113th Senate to order. Please quiet the room. Quiet the room. Do we have quorum?
Yes, we have quorum. Yes, we have quorum.
The first item on the agenda is student debt.
Mr. President,
Senator Hale?
I would like to motion that Senate Bill 1066, the Federal Student Loan Refinancing Act, be passed.
Do I have a second motion?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Senate Bill 1066 be passed. I will open the floor to debate. Senator Hale, 1 minute on the clock.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, it has become increasingly clear that student loans for dental students are getting out of control. The average debt is $241,000, which is a 66% increase over the past decade. These figures are not only sickening, they have real consequences. Namely, dental students are becoming limited by excruciating debt so that they cannot pursue their goals. This bill lowers the interest rate for student loans from 6% to 4%, and it is retroactive. An example would be a student who chooses not to pursue a specialty due to mounting debt. Are we seriously okay with limiting the quality of overall dental care due to monetary limitations? This means that we are essentially not providing avenues for good dentists to become great dentists. How can this make sense?
Mr. President.
Senator Kaczmarek.
I stand very much opposed to Senator Hale. It continues to amaze me that he is able to dress himself in the morning. It appears that he spends too much time with statistics to see the truth about dentistry. In fact, dentists do quite well, making plenty of money with very limited training. I have various sources that inform me that dentists are perfectly capable of paying off their debt. I mean, surely, have we ever seen a dentist on the street? I mean, it makes no sense. This is a non-issue and a waste of our time.
Order. I demand order. Senator Hale.
No, to literally everything Senator Kaczmarek has just said. Yeah. I will refer to use smaller words so that you can understand. My information comes from the American Dental Association. The American Dental Association. Yeah! Senator Kaczmarek's evidence is purely anecdotal and founded on literally no evidence. Mounting debt has very serious implications. Consider a dental student from a small town. We know that one of the obstacles to care is distance. But because the student has too much debt, there is no way they're getting in deeper by investing in a practice and typically turn to corporate dentistry, which then will send taxes to another state altogether. So if you're keeping score, that is 1, obstacles to care that would improve. 2, increasing the state taxes, and stimulating small town economies, which have suffered so much since the recession. Cry. So for you in the back, that's Hale 3, Kaczmarek 0.
Senator Kaczmarek has the floor.
You mind if
You may.
Senator Hale is both stupid and wrong about everything. I must stand by my assertion that dentists can easily pay back, what was it, Senator Hale?
$241,000.
Oh, God. That's more than I thought. Okay, well, still though, I'm not clear on the numbers. I think we'll have to get back to our scientists for that. I've never seen a dentist collecting change on the street. Therefore, I assert that this is not a real issue. The nation should be focusing its attention on a lot of other things. And I close out my arguments with some large words. Synergy. Freedom. America. That is all. Kaczmarek 2016.
Thank you, Senator Kaczmarek. That was rather a spirited conversation. And now we allow an open forum. Please stand or raise your hand to be recognized.
Hi, my name is Nicole Fishbeck, and I'd like to agree with Senator Hale. I think very few people know that dental school is actually the most expensive professional school you can enroll in, even more expensive than medical school. So, very
Rick's files, I'd also like to reinforce Senator Hill's point that increasing debt load can impact your decision to specialize or not, especially as a fourth year. It becomes a very real thing.
Here.
President, I don't believe Nicole Fishbeck, and I don't know how she would know how much medical school costs.
my husband's in medical school, and his tuition's more expensive. My tuition's more expensive than his. Right.
Off the record.
Order, order. We are in open forum. Please raise your hand to speak. Katie.
I would like to also agree with Senator Hale and kind of go off of Greg's point here that it definitely does limit your decisions with your debt. With the increasing number of DSOs that are out there and what they're offering us to work for them, we might be placed somewhere where you don't necessarily practice ethically if you're concerned about your debt. So I think that we definitely need to pass this.
Yes.
Here.
Please.
I would like to clarify that Senator's stance is to eliminate the Department of Education entirely, and that in terms of the student loan situation, that would be easy to pull out of it.
Thank you. All right, we'll now do a vote. Get him out of here. All who would like to pass Bill S-1066, which lowers student debt, please raise your green card and say aye. Aye. All opposed, raise your red card and say nay. Yellow card and say nay. Motion. Senator Kaczmarek.
I disagree.
Take a seat. Motion carries. The second item on the agenda is addressing obstacles to care by allowing dental therapists to practice.
Mr. President,
Senator Kaczmarek.
I would like to make a motion that Vermont Bill 398, which allows the addition of dental therapists to the dental team, be passed.
Do I have a second motion? Graham, I feel like that is all you are doing is seconding motions. Second. Oh, you are finally doing this, okay. Do I have another second? Anyone else? Beautiful. Well, whatever, I guess it has been moved and seconded that Vermont Bill 398 be passed, and I will open the floor to debate. Senator Kaczmarek, 1 minute on the clock.
Mr. President, it has become apparent to me that there is a shortage of dentists available to provide dental care to underserved populations. This issue affects 47 million Americans. Oral health care is critical to daily activities such as brushing, eating, and communicating, which would clearly have a devastating impact on basic level of living, not to mention the systemic and nutritional problems that are associated with poor oral health. This you agree, I'm sure. We should expand the dental team to include dental therapists, which will receive 2 years of dental training and hand skills alone, without the other clinical knowledge that would fall under the dentist's responsibilities. Additionally, a dental hygienist can become certified with an additional year of education. They can perform extractions, fillings, and other procedures that are of low complexity. This should be a no-brainer for the senators, but I'm quite sure that Senator Hale will have something to say.
Mr. President.
Like clockwork.
Easy, Senator Kaczmarek, easy. Senator Hale, you're 1 minute.
While I do agree that there are Americans in need of high-quality oral health care, I think perhaps Senator Kaczmarek has lost her brain. The answer to obstacles to care is not mid-level providers or dental therapists. First, the goal is to bring high quality care to all who want it, not middle quality care. First, the goals. The limited education and clinical experience received by dental therapists in training is frightening. This is not an issue of hands on the ground, where dental therapists are treating those who cannot be reached by dentists. We know there is a sufficient number of licensed dentists, but what we are seeing is burdens brought on by an overreaching government forcing the hand of new and experienced dentists alike. How can we expect a dentist who graduates with nearly $250,000 worth of debt to take the ultimate risk and open a practice in an underserved area, underserved community, where there may not be enough patients to support a single dentist, dental staff,
That's time, sir.
and their family?
That's time. Please take a seat, Senator Hale.
Mr. President.
Senator Kaczmarek.
No offense to Senator Hale. That was a terrible throw. No offense to Senator Hale, but he's simply the worst. I disagree with both his opinion and his face. It is clear that his interest lies not for the patients. God, I'm so glad y'all are terrible at throwing.
I will allow it.
It is clear that his interest lies not for the patients who need care, but for the pocketbooks of dentists who, let's face it, people, are just pissed they didn't get into medical school. Suck it. He is concerned that the profession of dental therapy will encroach on the dentist. Isn't some form of help better than nothing? When a patient is in pain and can't go to the dentist, they do not care.
All right, I'll move in order. Let's take a break here. Rowdy animals. Get out of here. Continue, please. Y'all are terrible.
Okay, where was I? Dental therapy would address one of the main obstacles to care, is my point. I love America. Kyle Tail does not. If you're opposed to this bill, then the terrorists have won. Dental therapists would address a clear need for underserved areas. The services would be cheaper. Therapists would have the opportunity to specialize their hand skills, and everyone would win. Most importantly, the patient.
Senator Hale has the floor.
Don't you may stand and move up the throat. First, I would like to just let Senator Kaczmarek know that I am totally right. I am pissed I didn't get to med school. I wish I could work a million hours a week with no sleep. Members of Congress, make no mistake. Gum disease and cavities are just that, a disease that is in need of diagnosis and treatment. Only the dentists are taught how to make this diagnosis. Senator Kaczmarek, the most important thing we get from our dentists is a diagnosis. Dental therapists are only taught to recognize symptoms of a disease. They cannot make the diagnosis. If we allow an increase in middle quality oral health care, we will surely see an increase in oral diseases, advanced stage oral cancer not being the least of these. This is a complex issue that must be solved with diligence, and in the end, high-quality oral health care can only be provided by those who have survived an intense 4-year dental education, or in the case of Pacific University, a very intense 3-year program.
Thank you, Senator. We will now have an open forum. Please stand or raise your hand to be recognized. Amen.
I would have to disagree with Senator Kaczmarek. I think you need to read some research paper again. There's things out there. I would not be comfortable with hiring someone with less training to do irreversible procedures that I'm responsible for. Would you be okay with having a PA doing a hardback?
I said maybe.
You're true that I would make you be okay with that.
Thank you. Senator Stephan.
I'm also, I'd like to state my opposition to this idea, because even if people are trained in the mechanical skills of cutting a class 2, they're not going to be able to handle treatment plan changes in any of you who've been in clinic have seen something that looks small and eventually gets bigger and could be a root canal, but if you only know how to cut across a plastic tooth, you're not going to know when you're about to rip the pulp. And when they do that and have that happen on your patient, it's your license that is at risk.
Yes. We're still an open forum. Would anyone else like to speak about this bill? Yes, ma'am.
I don't think adding an additional year to dental therapist training would allow them to perform fillings and extractions adequately. I do think that one of the many ways that we can help underserved communities is opening more dental schools. I think there's a lot of areas, if you look at New Mexico, they don't have any dental schools at all. So they're not really having a large influx of dentists coming in because the students stay and practice where they get their information. So I think maybe opening more dental schools would be a better option for us.
More dentists.
Anybody else? We're still an open forum. Okay. Yes. All right, we will now do a vote. All who would like to allow the practice of dental therapy, raise your green card and say aye.
Oh, yeah!
Those that oppose, raise your yellow card and say nay.
Nay!
Motion and no motion. Fail. You can't handle the truth.